welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is Johnny K. Fry C. Numb.
Would you pass the K. Fry C, Mark? Come on.
We got some K. Fry C. You want some? Hey, what do you want? Dark, light? What would you like, Johnny Numb?
Wing.
Yeah.
I forget what he said, damn it.
Leg? I think he said, yeah, give me a leg. With his breathy, Texas accent in there. I gotta tell you, so I'm not trying to promote my stuff, because whatever, but we've been talking about doing this for a movie for a while, and I wrote an article for Rotten Tomatoes about the Lincoln Lawyer and how that kicked off the reconnaissance. And you watch Lincoln Lawyer, and I think it's excellent. I love the cinematography. It's gritty. I think McConaughey is perfectly as this sort of slimy lawyer. I think he's not slimy. He's slimy, but he's not slimy, yada yada. But that kicked off with Lincoln Lawyer, and then it comes to Killer Joe. And we're just full swing reconnaissance. And this NC-17 rated, William Friedkin directed, Caleb Deschanel shot, 6-time Oscar nominee Caleb Deschanel shot in 20 days. The actors picked their own wardrobes in this movie. Friedkin said that the casting gods shone on him for this movie. And I've long said it that, everyone says this in Hollywood. They should have won for this. And I think that McConaughey is very good in Dallas Buyers Club. But this role in Killer Joe, I think, is his finest. Interstellar gets all the splash. But I think this might be, for me, his finest work. Because he oozes menace without ever acting like he's oozing menace. There's no tough guy strut to him. There's no... when we're first introduced to him, we see his leg, we see his back, we see his hair, we see his glasses, we see his back, then we get him, and he's just such a menacing... You believe everything that comes out of him, but you never see a swagger. You never see... It's not like... He's not trying on screen. This is an effortless performance that Friedkin shot in 2 to 3 takes at a time. They only did 2 or 3 takes on this movie. And when you learn that, this is such an effortlessly great performance, but I want to say before we go on, this is Juno Temple's movie. She is... Oh my
God, yes. Yeah.
Everyone else is great. Thomas Haden Church, great. Gina Gershon, great. Emile Hirsch, wonderful. But, man, she had her brother film her 10-year-old brother film an audition tape. And then she comes in and meets Friedkin and just nailed this movie. And it's just a ballsy, grimy... Friedkin called it they shot grab ass, on location, dirty movie, and it's based on Tracy Letts' play, but I adore it, and I'm glad you recommended it.
Yeah, Mark. No,
sorry, I just talked in 20 minutes.
How do I follow that up? Yeah. No, it's all the stuff you just said, and so what you were saying about McConaughey in particular, I think what you're getting at is he's never winking at the camera. Never. He's never swaggering, like you said. But in the more darkly comedic moments, and there are a lot in this movie, he doesn't lean in close and be like, hey, yeah, we're just funning. There's a really it's deadly serious at a lot of points, but then it's also really funny, often at the same time. As like I was saying to you before we got on, you started recording, I was like, the worse this movie gets, the funnier it gets. Yes. In a strange way, and I don't quite know how to rationalize that or reconcile that, because the movie just gets so damn dark, and
everyone gets played. Rex plays everybody.
Yeah, everybody is basically getting effed in this movie. So in one way or another, and the guy whose face you never see is the one behind it all, basically.
Stupid Rex. He incepted Emile Hirsch. He got Thomas Haden Church into it. Gina Gershon was already... I'm saying all their names. We got Chris, Dottie, Ansel, Charla. I got all their names. But I gotta tell you, the cast of this is so good. Gina Gershon, they wanted her to be in the play, but she didn't want to do this 8 times a week, so she said no. You have Thomas Haden Church and McConaughey from Texas. Emile Hirsch just plays such a good dirtbag in this. And just everything about it. The location shoot, it just plays... just so, grimy and gritty. And as you said, it gets... Okay, Johnny Numb, you're at home and you're watching the finale of this film with the chicken wing, Gina Gershon, McConaughey, her face Gershon's face is just busted. People are bleeding. Killer Joe is just... there's just chicken grease everywhere. You learn what Rex has done. People walk in to this, and it's just you watching this movie. 10 people walk in after going bowling, and they sit down with you and just watch this ending. They're going to be like, Johnny, you're not right. Like, this is, what are you doing? But it's such, right? It's such a, this is great because it's part of our feel good series.
Yeah.
But I think it's hilarious. And at the end, when McConaughey learns about his baby and he's like, yes, it just builds to just insanity, and it's glorious. And there's just bloody people all over the place. And I love this movie. I love Killer Joe.
And that's it. And I feel like that's the first time in the movie where you see him through all this mess he's been dragged through. Yes. It's the first time you see him genuinely appears happy, but maybe that's just his insanity coming out at the same time, because Dottie's standing there with a gun to his face, and she's just shot Chris, she just shot Ansel, Charlotte's cowering in the corner. Everything is going to hell, and
oh man,
there he is with his arms outstretched, like, I'm gonna be a daddy almost. It's just,
it's so great. We're gonna get married.
Crazy. Yeah, like
he's gonna, and it's really like poor Juno Temple in this movie. I mean, Dottie knows exactly what's going on, so I guess whatever. Johnny, you want to tell people what this movie's about? Do you want to do it before we dive in?
Okay, basically, Chris, played by Emile Hirsch, is a screw-up of the highest order.
Punches his mom a lot.
He punches his mom, or throws her up against the refrigerator, and he's in some local mob guys, I guess, for some money. He owes them $6,000. Okay, and he does fuzzy math because he's like, okay, well, mom has a $50,000 insurance policy. I'm going to hire Joe Cooper, who's a detective, but he moonlights as a killer on the side, to kill the mom and cash in the insurance policy, which is supposedly being left to Dottie.
Yeah.
So, and I was just thinking about this before we started talking, but the math in this movie makes no sense.
None.
It makes sense at the end, but the fact that Chris, okay, he needs to pay off these guys for $6,000, otherwise they're going to kill him. Well, Killer Joe, he thinks, is going to cost $20,000 to employ as a killer, and then it turns out Killer Joe wants $25,000. So already you're operating at this weird loss angle here, which Chris is trying to. Chris is like, oh well, I'm gonna make a deal with him. He can get a cut of the insurance payout, after mom gets killed, and then it just spirals out from there. Basically, it's Chris trying to hire Killer Joe to do this task. He ropes everyone in his family in, or the family implicates themselves in other ways. Rex is like the sun that this movie orbits around, basically.
Yeah.
Even though he's only like in 3 scenes and you never hear him say anything or you never see his face, but he is the character that sets everything in motion and is responsible for everything that happens. It's pretty funny.
Oh, it's beautiful. And it ends with one of the most gnarly finales. I mean, Hollywood's golden boy with a chicken wing in his hand, with Gina Gershon pretending to have fellatio for while he just yells, while a beat up Emile Hirsch is bleeding. Thomas Haden Church is just going along with it because he's mad that he found out that his wife Charla is cheating on him with Rex, so he's just going along with that. Yep, that's fine. I don't see anything. Just going along with that. Then you got Dottie, Dottie's a really interesting character in the way that she's present, and she remembers that her mom tried to kill her. She knows about the plot to kill her mom. She knows that Charla has a handsome boyfriend. She knows that Joe is coming over for dinner. What did she say about his eyes? His eyes made her sad when she's talking about that.
Yeah, she said, "Your eyes hurt."
Yeah, your eyes hurt. She knows exactly what's going on, which is quite interesting. And his eyes hurt. She practices her kung fu. She knows exactly what's going on. Oh man, it's an interesting character.
You know what? And I came out this time after watching it this time around. I was like, Dottie is the one actually good character in this movie, I think.
Mm-hmm.
She's the one character who you could say she keeps talking about pure love or true love or whatever, and about her fat boyfriend from third grade, Marshall, who she never actually spent time alone with, but it's like he loved me with true love or something.
Yeah.
With pure love, and I'm just like, she's a good character. She knows what's going on. She's a good character, but she's almost presented kind of as not savant-like, but I don't want to say Forrest Gump-like, but just kind of like you can tell that she has some neurological issues because she seems kind of stuck in kind of a childlike state.
Yeah, and that makes sense, right? If you think about it, her mom was apparently an abusive drunk who tried to kill her. Ansel is, I don't think he's abusive, but he's just an idiot, right? He's just come home, get me my beer, get me my bush, while Gina Gershon drinks her Budweiser. Her brother's squirrely as heck, so she seems to have really retreated into herself and gone into her own world.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. But yeah, you're right. Like, she's a very interesting character, and I think Juno Temple plays her where a lot of, like, she goes all for it, literally, and then she does this excellent balance of, like you said, like, what's lack of a better word, savant, but then she's also really present.
Yeah.
But is that like does she act that way to, like, self-defense? It's just there's a lot of, I guess if you want to look into these family dynamics, I said that really weird. Family dynamics, could. But, man, it's just another testament to Tracy Letts. And I want to go watch Bug right now, because that's another Friedkin Tracy Letts adaptation.
My gosh, Mark, and that's another feel-good movie.
Yes, it is. Good feel-good hotel picture, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, Tracy Letts...
Two people falling in love with a lot of aluminum foil thrown into the mix.
Oh, man. Blood and... Oh, gosh. But I just... it's... I don't know. He wrote it in 93, and it took such a long... Like, I don't know. It took a really long road to the screen. And this movie's PG... Okay, this movie's NC-17. Which... Do you understand why?
I'm probably pretty sure it's due to some of the frontal nudity you see, and probably mostly due to the infamous chicken fellatio, which is acted out like a porno movie, I would say.
Yeah.
It's done, though it's funny because Friedkin uses static shots, not handheld. He's not fetishizing that scene. He's just like letting his camera sit and focus, like usually in the characters are like fully in frame, and it's very odd. You're just kind of sitting there passive, like Ansel watching it a bit. It's just kind of like you're stuck waiting for this thing to end. So, but the way Matthew McConaughey just fetishizes the chicken wing as his penis is just, and
grab my butt.
Yeah, exactly. And you think about the skin flaking off of the chicken, and there's all sorts of connotations there. So I'm thinking it's that chicken scene that probably, it's just the bizarre sexual nature of that scene that probably the MPO is like, this deviancy will not stand. So,
I love that you said that about the static shots, which I felt when I first watched it, I briefly knew that it was based off of a play. I didn't know Tracy Letts' play. I've learned a lot about this in research. But the way Friedkin does and Caleb Deschanel frame this, and actually one of the, like, a early movie to shoot on digital, they shot on Alexa with this. Friedkin said it was his first usage of digital as opposed to film, and on the commentary I had to listen to Friedkin talk about color grading for about 15 minutes. It's like, yo, Friedkin, come on, Friedkin.
I can see he's a very technical guy, yeah.
And so you're right, though. The way that he shoots it is very dispassionate, and it's almost like you're watching it as a member in a playhouse, almost in a small 8-row playhouse with the theater. I guess that's a better word. In a theater, and you're just watching this shot. And I think sometimes that might be more, like, if you think about